The UK is not only famous for its haunted castles, manors, and historical landmarks, but many of its ancient churches are also deeply haunted. These sacred buildings, with centuries of burials, tragedies, and dark secrets, are home to ghostly monks, phantom priests, shadowy figures, and unexplained sounds. Visitors often report cold spots, eerie whispers, and chilling apparitions. These haunted churches add another eerie layer to the UK's already rich and mysterious paranormal history. Now we will visit the most haunted churches in the UK. Number 1. St. Mary's Church. St. Mary's Church in Whitby, North Yorkshire, sits high above the town, watching over the famous Abbey ruins and the restless North Sea. But behind its peaceful appearance hides one of the most haunted churches in the UK. Many visitors have reported terrifying encounters with spirits that refuse to leave this ancient place. One of the most famous ghosts is the Grey Lady, believed to be the spirit of a young woman who fell to her death from the nearby cliff. She's often seen drifting between the gravestones, her pale face full of sorrow, disappearing as visitors approach. Inside the church, people have heard the soft cries of ghostly children. It's said that during times of plague, many children were buried in the churchyard. Some believe their souls still wander, heard laughing and crying late at night. Another frightening tale speaks of a phantom monk. Witnesses have seen a dark-robed figure gliding silently through the aisles, his face hidden beneath a hood. Some say he was a monk who betrayed his brothers and was cursed to roam the church forever. Visitors have also reported sudden icy winds blowing through the church, even when doors are closed. Cold spots often appear near old graves, leaving a heavy feeling of sadness and dread. The most chilling story is of a shadowy figure that stands watching from the church tower. Those who see it report feeling dizzy and terrified, as if being pulled toward the cliff's edge by an unseen force. St. Mary's Church, with its dark legends and ghostly figures, remains one of the most haunted places in Britain, drawing both tourists and paranormal investigators eager to witness its terrifying secrets. Number 2. St. Nicholas Church. St. Nicholas Church in Pluckley, Kent, stands in the heart of what many call the most haunted village in England. But the church itself holds some of the most terrifying ghost stories in the area. For centuries, this ancient church has been the center of strange and chilling paranormal activity. One of the most well-known spirits is the Red Lady. She is said to wander the graveyard, dressed in a flowing red cloak, searching for her lost baby. Visitors have reported seeing her moving slowly between graves, while some have even heard her soft cries echoing through the night. Inside the church, many have heard unexplained whispers during quiet services or while alone. These voices are said to belong to monks or villagers buried beneath the church centuries ago, still trapped between this world and the next. One terrifying encounter involves the ghostly figure of a hooded monk. He silently appears at the back of the church, watching visitors before fading into the shadows. His presence fills the air with a deep sense of fear and sorrow. Cold spots are often reported near the ancient tombs inside the church. Some visitors have described feeling an icy hand brush against them or hearing soft footsteps following closely behind. Perhaps the most chilling tale is of the phantom organ music. Late at night, people have reported hearing the church organ play by itself, filling the empty building with haunting melodies that seem to come from nowhere. With its history of sorrow, tragedy, and restless souls, St. Nicholas Church in Pluckley remains one of the UK's most haunted churches, drawing ghost hunters and brave visitors hoping to experience its chilling secrets. Number 3. St. Mary Redcliffe. St. Mary Redcliffe in Bristol is one of the grandest parish churches in England, but beneath its towering spires and stunning Gothic beauty lies a chilling history of hauntings and ghostly encounters that have terrified visitors for centuries. One of the most famous spirits is the ghostly bell ringer. Late at night, the church's great bells have been heard tolling on their own, long after the building has been locked. Some say it's the spirit of a former bell ringer who fell to his death from the bell tower and now returns to continue his eternal duty. Inside the church, many visitors have reported sightings of a shadowy monk silently gliding along the aisles. His face is never seen, hidden beneath a dark hood, but his sudden appearances bring an icy chill to the air and an overwhelming sense of unease. Another terrifying tale involves the crying bride, believed to be a young woman who was jilted at the altar centuries ago. Witnesses have seen her pale, ghostly figure sitting alone in the pews, weeping softly, her long white gown glowing faintly in the dim light. Cold spots are common throughout the church, especially near the ancient crypt. Some believe these icy drafts signal the presence of restless souls buried beneath the church who have yet to find peace. The most chilling story speaks of phantom footsteps heard echoing through the empty building late at night. Visitors and caretakers have often followed the sounds, only to find empty corridors, as if invisible figures walk the church alongside the living. With its long, haunted history, St. Mary Redcliffe remains not only a masterpiece of medieval architecture, but also one of the most haunted churches in the UK, where the past refuses to stay silent. Number 4. St. Giles Cathedral. St. Giles Cathedral, rising proudly on Edinburgh's historic Royal Mile, is not only a symbol of Scottish history, but also a place wrapped in terrifying ghostly tales that chill even the bravest visitors. Its ancient stones have absorbed centuries of sorrow, executions, and dark secrets. One of the most terrifying spirits is the headless drummer boy. Locals say his ghostly drumming echoes through the cathedral's great halls, especially on stormy nights. The boy was supposedly executed during a bloody uprising, and his restless spirit continues to beat his invisible drum, warning of danger or tragedy. The weeping widow is another sorrowful presence. Dressed in black, she is seen kneeling in prayer at an empty pew, her soft sobs filling the air. She is believed to be the spirit of a woman who lost her entire family during a plague that swept Edinburgh in the 17th century. Cold spots and sudden drops in temperature often surround the ancient tombs and crypts, where countless souls were laid to rest. Some visitors report feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness, as if the dead still mourn beneath their feet. The phantom minister has been sighted near the pulpit, delivering silent sermons to an invisible congregation. Witnesses describe a tall, shadowy figure in old robes who vanishes when approached, leaving only the heavy scent of candle smoke behind. Outside the cathedral, in the old kirkyard, shadowy figures are often seen drifting through the gravestones, especially in the misty hours before dawn. Their faint whispers can sometimes be heard, speaking in languages long forgotten. With its long and often bloody history, St. Giles Cathedral stands not only as a historic treasure, but as one of the most haunted churches in the UK, where the past still walks alongside the living. Number 5. All Saints Church. All Saints Church in Bakewell, Derbyshire, may look peaceful from the outside, but within its ancient stone walls hide some of the strangest and most unsettling hauntings in the UK. One of the most bizarre tales is that of the phantom blacksmith. Long ago, a blacksmith was buried beneath the church after mysteriously vanishing during a violent storm. Now, on stormy nights, visitors hear the distant clanging of his hammer echoing through the church, though no forge has stood nearby for centuries. Another chilling presence is the spectral choir boy. Several witnesses have seen a pale young boy standing near the old choir stalls. Sometimes he is heard softly humming ancient hymns. When approached, he fades away, leaving behind a sudden, unnatural coldness. The stone sentinel is perhaps the most frightening legend. According to local lore, one of the stone effigies within the church occasionally moves its eyes. Some visitors have sworn they saw the carved figure turn its gaze, following them as they walked through the church. Deep beneath the church lies a sealed vault said to contain victims of a medieval plague. Locals whisper of the Whispering Vault, where muffled voices and soft tapping sounds have been heard as if those long buried still try to communicate with the living. Outside in the graveyard, the shrouded wanderer has been seen pacing between gravestones, his features hidden under a tattered burial shroud. His silent march continues from dusk until dawn, vanishing with the morning light. With its unusual and unsettling hauntings, All Saints Church in Bakewell offers a unique blend of eerie mystery, making it one of the most haunted churches in the UK. Number 6. Holy Trinity Church. Holy Trinity Church, best known as the burial site of William Shakespeare, hides far more than literary history. Beneath its stunning architecture lies a series of terrifying hauntings that make it one of the most unsettling churches in the UK. Perhaps the most disturbing spirit is known as the Veiled Lady of the Chancel. Visitors have seen a figure dressed entirely in black lace, her face hidden beneath a heavy veil, standing beside Shakespeare's grave. As witnesses approach, she lifts her head slightly, revealing hollow, dark eye sockets before vanishing into the shadows. The bell tower apparition brings further dread. At night, locals report seeing a man hanging from the bell rope inside the tower, believed to be the spirit of a 17th-century bell ringer who took his own life after a terrible scandal. The vision fades quickly, but some say they can hear faint choking sounds and creaking rope long after. The church's ancient wooden doors sometimes open and close on their own, often accompanied by the sound of invisible footsteps crossing the flagstone floor. These phantom steps are said to belong to a former grave robber who desecrated tombs beneath the church and was cursed to forever wander the building. A more chilling encounter is with a disembodied hand. Several visitors have reported seeing a pale, severed hand reach out from under pews or cracks in the ancient walls, grasping at thin air before disappearing instantly. In the surrounding churchyard, shadowy childlike figures have been seen running between gravestones, giggling softly, believed to be the lost souls of children who died during one of the many plague outbreaks. Holy Trinity Church is far more than Shakespeare's resting place. It is a terrifying realm where restless spirits roam endlessly. Number 7. St. Magnus the Martyr. St. Magnus the Martyr, standing close to London Bridge, is surrounded by centuries of dark history, fire, executions, and tragedy, and within its ancient walls lurk terrifying spirits unlike any found elsewhere. One of the most unsettling ghosts is the charred priest. After the Great Fire of London in 1666, a priest who perished in the blaze is said to haunt the church. Witnesses report seeing a blackened, smoldering figure wandering near the altar, his burnt skin glowing faintly as embers rise from his body before he vanishes into thin air. Another disturbing presence is the boatman of the Thames. Before the bridge was rebuilt, ferrymen worked near the church. One drowned in the violent river currents, and now his sodden spirit appears dripping wet inside the church. Visitors have heard the squelching sound of water-soaked boots walking through the nave, though no one is visible. In the crypt lies a darker mystery. The muttering skulls are said to whisper incoherent words late at night. Those brave enough to enter the crypt report hearing urgent, panicked voices that grow louder and closer, as if the dead beneath the church still struggle to communicate. The candlelight procession is another terrifying sight. Witnesses have seen ghostly monks holding flickering candles silently walking through the church. The candles burn with a strange blue flame, and as the monks pass, an icy wind follows behind. In the narrow alleyways surrounding the church, the executioner's shade sometimes appears. Locals claim to have seen a tall, hooded figure carrying an invisible axe, believed to be the ghost of an executioner who once performed his grim duties nearby. St. Magnus the Martyr remains one of London's most chillingly haunted churches, where history and horror blend in eerie silence. Number 8. St. Andrew's Church. St. Andrew's Church, tucked quietly into Newcastle's bustling city centre, hides centuries of dark secrets behind its ancient stone walls. Though many walk past without a second thought, those who enter often encounter its chilling paranormal residence. One of the most frightening spirits is the watcher at the window. Locals passing by at night have seen a pale face peering from the church's highest window, eyes wide with terror. Some say it's the ghost of a prisoner once held in the church's medieval cellars, who died desperately trying to escape. Deep in the crypt, visitors report hearing the eerie sound of rustling chains. It's said the church once secretly held criminals beneath its floors. Today, the clinking of chains and distant groans still echo through the damp tunnels, as if the condemned remain shackled in the afterlife. The grinning gentleman is another terrifying figure. Always dressed in old Victorian clothing, This sinister ghost has been seen lurking in the shadows during evening services. Witnesses say he smiles unnaturally wide before fading into the darkness, leaving behind a sudden, suffocating cold. During quiet hours, visitors have heard disembodied whispers rising from the choir stalls. The voices murmur unintelligible words, often accompanied by strange breezes that swirl around the empty seats. The churchyard itself is home to the midnight mourners, shadowy figures seen standing silently around certain graves, weeping softly, their outlines flickering like smoke in the moonlight. They always vanish when approached. With its long, often violent history, St. Andrew's Church in Newcastle is not just a place of worship, but a gathering ground for lost souls trapped in endless torment, making it one of the most haunted churches in the UK. Number 9. St. Mary's Church. St. Mary's Church in Totness, Devon, with its beautiful stonework and towering spire, hides a far more sinister reputation beneath its peaceful exterior. Its long history is filled with chilling tales of restless spirits that continue to haunt the sacred ground. One of the most disturbing is the Laughing Vicar. Visitors have heard unsettling, echoing laughter coming from the pulpit late at night. Some claim to have seen the faint outline of a clergyman grinning wildly, his eyes wide and unblinking, as though mocking those who dare to enter after dark. Another terrifying presence is the hooded pilgrim, often seen gliding silently along the church's narrow aisles. His face is always hidden beneath a heavy hood, but witnesses describe feeling a wave of dread as he passes, followed by the unmistakable scent of damp earth, as though he had risen from a grave. Beneath the church, sealed crypts contain victims of centuries-old plagues. Locals speak of the moaning dead, whose soft cries sometimes rise through the stone floors. Some brave visitors have reported hearing desperate pleas for help, as though trapped souls beg to be released from their underground tombs. A lesser-known legend tells of the mirror apparition. A small decorative mirror in the vestry occasionally reflects shadowy figures that are not present in the room. Clergy have even covered the mirror at times, fearing what they might see staring back at them. Outside, in the churchyard, ghostly blue lights hover among the ancient gravestones. These mysterious orbs float just above the ground before suddenly darting into the night, leaving those who witness them in stunned silence. St. Mary's Church in Totness remains a place where history's forgotten souls linger, a truly haunted sanctuary of eerie beauty and terrifying encounters. Number 10. St. Helen's Church. St. Helen's Church in Wheathampstead, Hertfordshire, stands quietly amidst the English countryside, but within its ancient stone walls and peaceful grounds lie stories of spirits that continue to terrify locals and visitors alike. One of the church's most chilling figures is the Whispering Soldier. During the English Civil War, a young soldier is said to have been killed on the church grounds. This ghost now appears in full uniform, silently pacing the aisles. Visitors have reported hearing faint military commands and whispered prayers echoing around them, even when they are alone. Another eerie legend speaks of the Veiled Child, a small, pale figure seen wandering between the pews. Dressed in old-fashioned burial garments, she carries a single wilted flower. Witnesses say her appearance is often followed by an intense cold breeze and the distant sound of a child softly singing. Deep within the church's tower lies the Shadow Keeper. This dark, formless presence watches from the highest window late at night. Locals walking past have seen its inky shape pressed against the glass, staring down at them without moving. The sight is so unnerving that some avoid passing the church entirely after sunset. During quiet evenings, the phantom bell tolls ring out from the tower, strange, single chimes heard even when the bell ropes are untouched. Some believe these are omens, warning of impending misfortune in the village. The graveyard holds its own horrors, as many have seen the Mist Walker, a shrouded figure that glides silently among the gravestones on foggy nights, dissolving into thin air as dawn breaks. With its unsettling mix of sorrowful spirits and dark omens, St. Helen's Church remains one of the UK's most haunted churches, where the past still whispers in the shadows.